Welcome to the Joel Fleischman Happy Hour podcast. Today we have Todd Smith from Smith Builders. Todd, thanks for taking the time to join us.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers. Prost.
Cheers.
Todd has owned Smith Builders for 9 years. Does new construction, commercial, little remodeling, exterior stuff. You've been working with Tim Lindsley as your quarterback, you said, for about 9 years now. So.
He's been 20 years in Smith Builders, actually.
Yeah,
started working with Drexel, so Tim's been our quarterback the whole time.
Awesome, great. No, appreciate you taking the time to sit here with Joel and kind of chat it up on episode 99, closing in on 100 here.
Oh yeah, episode 99, famous 99 Packers, 99 greats. Anything? Gretzky's the only 99 that I can think of.
Yeah.
How has there not been professional NFL guys 99? That just seems like
there's got to be
some badass dudes would wear it, right? I'm sure he's
J.J. Watt.
J.J. Watt. That's bad. There's somebody listening like, yeah, J.J. Watt, come on, guys.
Jason Taylor.
Is that Aaron Judge? No. Was that Judge?
I think
Judge does wear 99, yeah.
Is that Aaron Donald?
Aaron Donald, yeah.
Taco Fall, obviously.
Yeah, Taco, obviously. Yeah.
How do we forget? Not many. Packers was who? Who's that? Was that Worthy?
Is that, yeah, that could be Worthy.
What was his name? Jameel? Oh, man, that's bad.
99. Yeah.
Jarrell, not bad.
I wouldn't have a clue on that one, no way.
Hey, yeah.
Good in 2013, and that's
I got some street cred from Marcus on that one. Marcus, didn't you see him spark up?
a good one.
Good. I went pretty deep on that.
Yep.
That surprised me. All right, welcome, Todd. How are you doing, bud?
Good, how are you doing?
I've known you total, at least probably all 20 years.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And you've known my wife, Pam,
Before that, yeah.
from the 20s.
Ran in the same circles back
Yeah,
in the day.
in the 90s.
Yeah.
A million years ago.
Yeah, we had this kind of mutual friends that we hung out with sometimes, so yeah. It's been a long time, yeah.
For those of you that don't know, Todd is a Fond du Lac legend.
Legend.
Percentage of your projects that you've done in Fond du Lac, Fond du Lac area, 75% of your projects are in the Fond du Lac area?
Probably, I would say 80%.
80%.
Yeah.
And how many, let's just do the math, right? 20 years, 80%. And how many projects do you think you do a year?
I couldn't even tell you now. I mean, like now we probably have,
You guys do a ton
on our
now.
job board, we have 50 jobs on there right now,
Right.
anywhere from,
Well, let's say 30 jobs on average. Does that sound good for all of 20 years?
for a year, yeah, because I
Every
mean,
week?
back in the day, we were smaller, now we have definitely more employees.
Right, so but somewhere around 30 on average?
yeah.
So 600 different projects in Fond du Lac. That's
And
amazing. Congratulations.
Ranging from anywhere from a storm door to, like I say, restaurant additions, some pretty big houses we've done in the past, so yeah.
What's your favorite type of projects?
I like remodeling. It's just you never know what you're getting into. Sometimes it's a surprise, sometimes it goes smoothly, but it's a little more thinking, I guess. It's more of a challenge that way. So
Yeah, it is, and you enjoy that.
yeah, we love that. We do a lot of remodeling, so we like that a lot.
And how did you get into construction?
I had brothers growing up, so I'm the youngest of 9 kids. There's 8 boys and 1 girl, and I had older brothers that were in the business, and I actually, after high school, even when I was in high school and I went to college, I went to UW Fond du Lac for a year and Oshkosh for a semester, and just
See, true Fond du Lac legend. He really is. I told you. He's humble about it, but he's a true legend.
then I just did not want to. I just didn't like school. I'm just like, this isn't for me. I want to go make money, and when I was younger, high school, and even when I was going to school at UW Fond du Lac, I worked for helped my brothers out on side jobs and things like that. So I kind of knew construction somewhat, and just kind of quit school and started working construction. I actually started with Jim Roberts Homes, worked for him. My brother was an expediter for him, sided homes for him.
Another Fond du Lac legend, if you aren't aware of Jim.
Yes, yeah. So we worked for him for quite a long time. And 2 of my brothers another brother was a mason. He had his own business, but 2 of my brothers started Smith Builders then.
Okay.
And then I went with them, and I worked out in the field in construction for about 24 years. Then bought the business out, and I still, actually, after I bought it out, I was still working in the field some too, but it's been like 6 years now, fully, just complete bidding jobs, running jobs, meeting with customers, that type of thing. So it's been good. So I guess, long story short, I just had family in the construction, and everybody, I grew up in St. Peter, a lot of the people that lived around us were in construction, and that's
And how many people do you employ right now?
There's 14 full-time employees and 1 part-time employee.
Wow, congratulations. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And you run, to do all your management, what, do you use software?
Yes,
to
we
do
do.
that?
We just started in the last, I would say, year and a half. We use a software program called JobShred.
Okay.
So we're still learning it somewhat, but we really have dove into it in the past 6 months. Actually, two of the girls in my office went out to Dallas I think it was in January, for a training thing out there. So we actually learned a lot more on it. So we're working good with it. All our subcontractors, all like Tim, the quarterback and stuff like that, kind of we do all our bids that way, give them updates how the jobs are going. Subcontractors, they can see when they're scheduled. I can click on a job or subcontractor, move them out an extra week, and they get an email telling them that that's moved. So
And those are real dates. That's not fake dates.
they're usually real dates.
Yeah,
hopefully.
right. So we've worked with plenty of builders that have that, but it's not a real date. So then you still have to call and do the traditional way. So it actually
Yes.
has doubled their workload.
Yeah, sometimes you
You know
have
what I
that
mean?
where-
Like, because the
yeah.
plumber's still calling me every time. It's like, well, now I do it at night. I'm putting it on the schedule, and then you still call me. So now it's really inefficient. So as long as you trust the software, right, or junk
Yeah.
in, junk out.
Yeah.
Do you give that at this point? Do you give the customer portal? Are you allowing the customers to access it or not?
We're allowing, like our new homes, we're allowing the customers to see kind of the schedule, so they kind of know what's going on,
so they
who's
need
going to be
call you
there.
Now you're not uploading pictures there or anything like that yet, or are you?
We have started to a little bit on that.
Okay,
yeah,
right. So you're trending that direction.
Yep.
I think that's a wonderful tool,
And our
and
next-
again, in theory, should cause less chaos,
Yes.
especially in remodeling and new construction.
Yeah.
Where they walk out to the site, when's this guy coming? Why wasn't that done? They can get updated pictures, and even if it's a problem,
Yeah.
hey, there's a siding, extreme case, siding's the wrong color. Here's a picture of it.
Yeah.
We're aware it's going to get fixed.
And we're just starting that, so our employees for our time card app, we're on a different app right now, so we're just gonna, probably in the next few weeks, start having the employees using the JobShred app for time card.
And then that'll actually track that sub work. Then, I suppose. Yeah.
Track that work, and then also, we're looking at probably we've got 6 cube vans that the guys run the jobs on all day. Probably getting tablets for the vans where they can be out there in the field, take pictures and stuff. Remodel job, take a picture, and
Right.
if somebody else goes to the job a week later, they can kind of look back and see what was on the walls or
Yes.
anything like that. So it should help a lot.
Yeah.
It has made a difference already. So
I know it's changed our company when we went to pictures.
yeah,
And our ODT, little shout out for that, where you can actually track all of your loads and all of your processes through our phone.
Yeah.
I know that's helped us out a lot. And it has eliminated a lot of the conversations back from the builder saying, hey, when am I going to see it? They can see it in real time.
sure. Yeah.
Which helps out both parties.
Yeah.
So it's not just a selfish thing, it actually helps the builder.
And that's a great idea. You guys have like your deliveries, taking pictures of those.
Mm-hmm.
So hey, I didn't get my delivery. Well, no, we have a picture of it. It should be there. So yeah.
Yeah, and then that is, I cannot believe, I did not understand how often that was happening, how much almost eliminated it.
Yep.
The guy's actually sorting through the pile before he calls us. That happens. Quick story about my dad, he was building his house in the 90s, and the guy called and said, Albert, I never got the patio door handle sets. Big deal, there were hundreds of dollars, right? Take forever to get.
Yep.
Anderson windows. Went out there, they were literally just sitting right in the job site garbage can.
Oh really?
Somebody just picked up the box and chucked it, yeah. And of course, that was
And
well
that
before
happens. I'm
pictures.
sure
It
that
does
happens, yeah.
happen, and it's pictures, but at least we can say, hey, we
Yep.
did deliver it, and it's right there. So,
Yeah.
and it has helped. I think it has helped. I think it's really helped job site theft too.
Yeah.
No different than trail cameras on a deer camp. That's basically almost eliminated trespassing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing I think for theft. There's a lot guys are a lot less.
Unless they cut your camera down and take it with them.
Yeah,
that
I mean-
happens in the woods some. Yeah.
Yeah, no, all
unfortunately.
that stuff, and same
Yeah,
thing with theft.
yeah,
I mean, you still
yeah.
have theft, but not as often as it was, or not as
Yeah.
casual as theft used to be on job sites.
Yep.
So it has definitely helped. Let's see. Let's talk about some kind of interesting questions, a little tougher ones. So if you owned Drexel, what would be one thing you would change for the builder? Like what's our blind spot? What is something that maybe we don't see right now?
That's a tough
Even if I can't change it, like even if you're like, if you could change the industry, put it that way. So take it even outside Drexel, because you're such a nice guy, you won't even probably give me negative feedback. But outside the industry, like what's one thing in the building supply chain, if you could fix, what would it be? What would make your life easier? Or your teams?
Oh, I guess the biggest thing, which everybody would love to change, is lead times. I mean, and they have gotten better since COVID and everything, but still there are some things. I guess it magnifies all of us if I make a mistake ordering or Tim, my quarterback, makes a mistake ordering. It's just magnified now because all of a sudden, hey, I can't get that patio door in a week. We missed or ordered the wrong color. You're waiting 4 to 6 weeks for it.
Right. Well, and I do think that speaks to little Joel nugget, right, or a little self-promotion. But building, and maybe you don't even know that, Todd, in Kewaskum, we're building, not only building the Drexel millwork and door factory, half of it, which is about little over 2 football fields will be just for distribution.
Yeah, I know you were saying that Friday
Yeah,
at the expo.
right. So again,
yep.
I want to make sure we're bringing in more and more products because lead times have always been hell.
Yep.
Got really, really bad in COVID. It's gotten a little better, but I think we've just gotten more used to it.
Yeah, it's
honestly, and plan better.
Yeah.
And part of the problem is back orders too.
Yep.
Sometimes it's not even a mistake. It's 20 squared. You're supposed to get, you got 18. So if we can just keep it here, especially on remodel jobs.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, you got somebody's house tore apart and all of a sudden you're missing parts. And
Yeah, 2 newel posts and one comes damaged. I mean, just shit happens. But
Yep.
the more we can inventory for you guys, I think the better off we're going to be.
And that's
I would
what
agree.
we always do on like a kitchen remodel. We wait until the cabinets are in by you guys before we tear anything apart. But then you open a box sometimes and you got a damaged cabinet. You never know.
No, and the stress of remodeling is bad enough.
Yeah.
For people that don't go through it, I mean, they're washing their dishes in their bathtub.
In the bathtub
they're
or a sink
going
or-
out every night. Do you ever have homeowners where you're like, hey, stay in a hotel for a while or go on vacation, or how do you?
We've had some people do that. Yeah. I mean, some major remodels where you're gutting almost the whole house.
Yeah.
Or I've had people where we're gutting most of the first floor and they have a partially finished basement. They'll just kind of move down in the basement and live down there. And
Yeah, I mean, I've actually recommended, which sounds crazy, for people to go on vacation the first 2 weeks of the remodel because it's going to look so crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to be so frustrating, and you're going to overthink everything and redesign it as you go instead of just coming back in 2 weeks and like let them do their thing, sign off on it.
Yeah, and it's the dirtiest time too, where you're making the most dust, tearing everything apart, and when you do whatever you can, vacuum every day. We hang up plastic walls, but this dust is going to get where you don't want it for sure.
For sure. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to change our industry in our lifetime? What do you think is coming up? What's the next thing? What do you sense?
I don't know. More, I guess you guys have went that way already, but more automated things for like your truss plant and things like that. I mean, we're all having trouble. It's harder and harder every day to find employees.
Right.
That's the biggest battle, and I guess for us guys out in the field, for my guys out in the field, you really can't do automation that way. I think it's be more in the factories or plants, building cabinets, building doors, that type of thing.
Yeah, the more we can bring it to you as a component versus piecing it, right? The more we can speed things on the site, I think will be better too. And I don't know exactly what that means, of course, but have you used our virtual design software yet for your clients?
No, I've never. Kevin, when I normally meet with Kevin most of the time with my customers, he always offers it, but I have not had any customers do that yet.
They haven't. Why don't you think so?
I'm not sure really. I don't know if it's maybe just a little extra cost they don't want to spend,
Right.
or if they feel comfortable they can read a plan decent. And I do. We've had enough customers where they really struggle reading the plan, and all of a sudden you have it framed up, and it's like, oh, that's not what I was thinking. And
Yeah, because I do think even in your remodeling is a little bit tougher because we don't always start with a plan. But bring up that BDC.
Sure.
I just think that. Boy, I seem like I'm on a sales pitch today. I must still be going from the expo. Sorry, Todd. I'm on a sales pitch. 99 is Joel just selling Drexel. Shittiest one ever. Sorry, Todd. But I guess that's where it's going, right? So I think that design experience, man, I don't know, like a basement remodel, go to that lower level makeover. That's probably going to cost your customers $750, and that's actually all spec'd out.
so they can really see what they're getting.
Yeah, and it's literally, the girls will literally spec the floor, spec the paint on the walls, spec the cabinetry colors, so they literally know what they're getting, and it's kind of pre-selected, so they don't have to go through that really painful basement remodel selection process. Man, I think it's cool for $750.
Yeah, that is.
I know I would do it, And then I think for you guys, it's so much easier. You're not ripping apart and then slowly putting back together too.
Or putting things together and tearing it apart again because it's not what they
Yeah,
imagined.
hey, I want a huge island here for the Packer game, and then you lay it out, and you're like, well, I don't want it that big, and you're like, well, you said you wanted it really big, and I told you it was going to be really big.
And here's the cabinets are here already. So.
Yeah, it's true though. I mean, because it's hard to. The island's a really good example of that. It is very hard to picture.
Yep.
An island in the
And to
basement.
make sure you have enough space around it and to move
Yeah,
it.
because you're gonna have, people don't understand. You're gonna have the chairs.
Yep.
Just like we're sitting, you kind of have the relax, and you have a little hallway behind it, but yet you want to have it there, and even across. I think some people sometimes go way too big. Now I'm like screaming at you across. You want it intimate, but yet big enough.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's kind of an interesting thing.
No, the whole remodel thing too. Like I built 19 years ago, and we're actually probably the next few months here going to do our master bath remodel, and it's like now I know how customers are going to feel when I have their house tore apart. And
Isn't that amazing doing it yourself?
It's a little different that way. So
we've talked about it on multiple podcasts. I think it's so important people in our industry to take on projects and hire a general contractor and just go through the whole process.
Yep.
It's eye-opening. Sometimes working at Drexel, it's humbling. Like, we don't really treat customers this way, do we? Oh, shit, we really do. Like, it can be a bit humbling. You know, it's like, is that hard to accomplish this feat? And sometimes it is very hard.
yeah, and you just never know what you're going to run into too. So it makes it hard that way. And
Give me a nightmare job.
nightmare
Give me
job.
so many remodels. Give me, like, what was something that was just, you ripped the wall apart and there was bats in the attic, or you got some fun story about that?
Oh, the one thing we were doing a hunting lodge out towards. There's a group of guys that have like a hunting club out towards, I'd say, the Rosendale area, and thank God it wasn't active. But we tore open a chimney chase, and there was a beehive in there that must have been probably 3 feet by 2 feet.
Like a real true honey beehive.
Yeah, and we tore the piece of plywood off the wall, and we both looked at it. There was another guy with me, and we both kind of took 10 steps back real quick. And
Yeah.
said, "Oh." And there was nothing in there, thank God. But no,
Oh, it was empty.
it was empty. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
gosh, I thought that was going to take a turn there for a second.
No, it was empty.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
even over the years, I mean, especially you get to the middle of summer and you're doing siding jobs or something, you go, oh, and I had another one too, where I was doing a reside on a house, had old wooden shutters on there. I was up on this, probably 8 feet up in the air on an extension ladder, and go pull a shutter off, and there's a bat staring me right in the face.
That happens quite a bit on shutters.
Yes.
Way more than people think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Usually bats or hornets or something back
Yeah,
there. But
yeah.
Especially in the Fond area.
Yeah.
Why is that?
It just seems like there's, I don't
More
know.
bats?
Yeah.
I don't think that's a thing.
No? Don't think so?
I don't think like one area of the world has pockets of
I
bats.
don't know. Always seemed in Fondy, it just seemed like there's, and maybe again, it's just because I live in
Maybe there's
Fondy,
just
so
a lot of bats. Maybe there's just,
Yeah.
maybe there's a lot of bats in the world. You didn't realize it.
Right, recency bias, like you live here and you just think,
Yeah,
like,
there's
oh, yeah.
more bats in Fond du Lac than
Right,
anywhere
yeah.
else in the globe.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know if that was a story or not. Marcus, what do you got for Todd? You've been on the pods with the Expo and you've been interviewing builders. What's some questions that hung with you?
What do you think?
He's always got a good insight.
Yeah, I guess kind of going off of what Joel just said though too. What's some of the more unique things you did, whether it was a remodel or a new build, things that you maybe put in a house or had a remodel for somebody? Anything interesting that stood out that you're like, oh, this was the only time I've done this, or this is really unique the way they
Pickleball court, bidet, mirrors on the ceilings, whatever. Get deep.
right?
Not quite
Well,
stuff
I'm
like
just
that.
saying.
Yeah.
God, nothing. Actually, the last couple of years were just kind of strange things, like doing some garage additions or detached garages, and people are putting almost like a dumbwaiters in. They're doing attic trusses, doing dumbwaiters to raise things up
That's
to the,
actually
to the second
smart.
floor.
I
Yeah.
actually like that. I have a storage truss in my garage, in my detached garage, and it is a real pain getting stuff up. You know, the Christmas decorations.
Yep.
It's a trip to get it up there and down, right? And then I yell at my kids to come help me, and I'm dropping it on them. The dumbwaiter's a great idea.
Yeah, and you can fit it between. I'm doing one right now on Minoa Beach where they're going to add. We're doing a big garage addition, and they're going to add that where it fits between the trusses, a 22.5 inch
Yeah.
wide.
Do you build it or do you order it?
Yeah, order it.
You do.
Yep, they can order it, and you can make them. I think they're usually electric, where you
They
hit,
are
you hit
electric.
a button. And,
I was going to say, I don't know
yep.
if it's a pulley thing.
Yep.
So if everybody knows what that is, it's basically an elevator for materials. And was used to be like in Victorian houses, like with butlers and stuff.
Yeah,
I always think of that show. What are you talking about, Willis? What show was that? Family Affairs?
Oh,
He was always went up and down as dumbwaiter. It wasn't Webster. It was the other. What show was
yeah,
that?
there he is.
Gary Conley,
Different strokes.
Different Strokes. Different Strokes. I believe he had a dumbwaiter or Webster did. I don't know.
But I think in the
remember
last
that.
year we've done like 4 of those.
Really?
Yeah, just randomly never.
And you don't recommending it. That's customer
Yeah, it's
request.
customers asking for them. Yeah.
Oh, genius.
Yeah. No, it's actually a pretty good idea. So.
I do too. I would store a lot more up there if I could actually get an access point. It's always such a pain. It lays on the it lays by the ladder for about 3 weeks, and then one day I'm like, oh, I gotta take that crap up there or bring it down.
Yeah.
So. Oh, that makes sense.
It's not like those attic ladders are the safest things to climb always too. Yeah.
They're horrible. I wish somebody would. I actually just did it post inspector and just cut a hole open and built my own ladder.
For fire, yeah, you got to watch that. Yes.
Yeah. No, they've never the industry. That would be something I would change if I could change the industry. Attic ladders have been junk my whole life.
They do have the aluminum ones now that are a
They
little
are a
safer.
little better,
Little
but again,
better,
they're just not.
Yeah, for a big guy like myself on those wood ones, no, I don't.
And they're
feel
just
safe.
not great. They just
Yeah.
the spring loads, the whole thing just doesn't play out well.
Yep.
If you can have enough space, but you never seem like you have enough space in a detached, real steps are the way to go. But
Yep.
who has enough space to throw that in there.
At what point did you obviously you're talking about job training going there in the last 6 months, you guys have really dived into that or whatnot.
Yep.
Have you guys always been kind of interested in kind of technology that way at Smith Builders, or are you guys, is this just something where you're like, you got to the point where you're like, hey, we got to do this now?
The last couple of years, it just, as we've grown, it's just trying to get more organized. You have, let's say, at any given times, a lot of times right now, we have 2 new houses going, a couple additions. I mean, altogether with kitchen remodels, some deck jobs, we've got probably 20 jobs going right now, and all at one stage or another. So just to get it more organized. Actually, last year I went out, my first time ever, I went out to the Builders Show in Las Vegas, International Builders Show, and that's the main reason we went there. My wife and I went around and talked with, I think, like 6 or 7 different companies.
Builder Trend, Job Track.
Yep, I talked to a bunch of them, and this is the one that I really liked the best. So.
Oh, interesting. So did you get value out of IBS? We just coming off IBS. Drexel did not go this year. Did you get a lot out of it?
I didn't go this year. I went last year, the year before.
Did you get a lot out of it?
I didn't really get a lot out of it. No, it's almost.
Neither do we.
No, it's kind of like we walked the whole thing. I mean, we spent hours and hours walking and saw some great things, but there were so many things like. There were so many Chinese vendors that had toilet seats. I mean,
there's
crazy.
too much.
Yeah.
Again, it is International Builder Show it's for.
Yep.
Also, I seemed like when I did talk to somebody, they were the local rep, and rarely was it ever distributed in the Midwest.
Yep. There
Like,
was a lot of that
this is a cool caulk. This is a cool window line, and I'd be like, can I get this in Wisconsin? Sometimes they'd say, "Where's Wisconsin?" And then they'd be like, they'd be like, "I have no idea. I'm the rep out of Reno."
Yeah.
Or they'd be like, "Let me ask somebody." And they're like, "No, we can't." So. It was a hard time to drive value out of that as well.
Yeah, I don't know if I would ever go back, honestly.
Same. I always said like it was great drunk, but I can get drunk anywhere. So
Yep.
yeah,
and less expensive.
yeah, less expensive and
Going
maybe
out
a little bit more my speed. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think last year, if I remember right, my gambling didn't go so well out there
Oh,
either.
well, that makes sense. Yeah. No, I did way more of schmoozing and drinking and that sort of thing than the actual any knowledge that I gained.
Yeah.
Maybe I just did it wrong, but that was my perception as well. I didn't ever find any value.
And
in
I
it.
guess I didn't sign up for any of the seminars or anything like that.
And some builders have told me them are really, really good
Yep.
and get a lot out of that. But for a supplier, they don't have like supplier seminars. And then somebody did say I should sign up for them as a builder, which is maybe warranted, just to kind of read the builder, your customer's minds,
Yep.
So, no, I very low interest on that. I'm not exactly sure. What else can we do? What could we do at Drexel to make your experience better? Or what do you appreciate? You're such a. Hey, I got to give Smith Builders a little credit. We have worked with them for 20 years. I've always perceived, and again, why you do so great in remodeling, I think, is your personality is so good. Such a great personality, must be a joy to work with. But they were always chill, good, bad, or indifferent. You guys have always been awesome to work with, and you may think you're really complicated, but it's a simpler business model than a lot of builders.
Yep.
And you seem to make it easy. How do you make it so easy I perceive you make it easy on your client, not complicated. Do you give them a simplified budget? Do you have them price things out ahead of time?
We price everything
or
out.
you just end up getting really great clients because you're a great guy?
No, not that. We try to, most of our remodel jobs, I'll usually, let's say a kitchen remodel, I'll go meet with the people one time, then I'll go back with one of the kitchen designers, John Van Beek now, who's my designer.
Shout out to John and Tim, by the way.
And then we'll take, I'll even take my plumbers, if it's a major plumbing job or something, usually let's say a kitchen, my electrician, I have a number that he says, okay, $3,500 for an average kitchen remodel or something like that. But usually I'll take my plumber and take some of the subs if I think there's any question marks for them. So I try to get the price as close as possible.
So you'll get your subcontractors and Drexel involved as early as possible.
Yep.
Not winging a prayer, allowances, land the job, and then try to back end.
No, I like to take John to the site. He'll draw me up a plan right away, kitchen layout for him, and then it's just an allowance number until they come and make their selections. So once they sign, we have them come into the showroom and do that. But I just like to be as close as you can on the budget wise. Nobody likes surprises. All of a sudden, you don't want to walk in, hey, you owe me another $10,000 at the end. It's just nobody likes that. So no
one, and no. That is probably one of the worst things is come back for more money, right?
Yeah.
And again, changes happen where it's communication through.
Yep.
So how do you do changes at the job site, right? I do want to add on this. I'm under contract with you for $85,000. This is going to be well beyond that. I'm going to do wood on the ceiling now. Do you do written change orders?
And that's where we've really been focusing on lately is trying to get better at change orders. Usually,
because that's the devil in the details right there, right?
A lot of times I would just honestly write it on the front of the folder. Okay, this is what they did. They added this for $500, but now with the Job Tread app, we're also using that to send people change orders, and they can sign off on it before we do it now.
That's great. I think that's really smart.
And even we're
People are expecting that now. I don't think they like verbals.
yeah.
I don't know what that is, if the world's less trusting, or again, it's just with technology and you're just used to signing off on things, right?
And you have a verbal, sometimes you might forget about it. Oh yeah, that's right. You added $500 there, and the homeowner might have forgot that they did that. But if they have to sign off on it,
yeah, no. I mean, again, a complicated remodel. They're living in their basement. They're already stressed, and you're like, yeah, don't forget you owe me $4,000 for that stone you picked out. And they're like, what the hell are you talking about? I would have never done that.
Well,
you were at a work thing. Your wife said, yeah, we had to make a decision, right? Yeah, I think it's just much wider.
We're even doing like on our contracts on Job Tread as well. We put a box in there now. You have to check the box where we're saying people don't love the lead times. We're at least 4 to 6 months out. We're saying 6 months for sure, pretty much for anything. And also we get customers calling back and saying, hey, you told me you'd be here in a month. And it's like, no, we didn't say that. And so now they got to check that box and say we might be 6 months out.
Do you understand that we're 6 months out? Please check here. Right?
Yeah, so they can't come back and say, no, you told me a month or 2 months or whatever. So at least they're checking that too, because we've had people call upset saying, hey, we thought you'd be here by now.
Right.
And we kind of pretty much take them by the date they signed. We kind of walk down that way. And
yeah, we always say like words matter, right? They pick up on cues. Hey, we'll get here in late spring. Well, late spring to them is April. Late spring to you is end of May, right?
Or start of June, or
start of June, right? They're like, I can do June as late spring, and they're like, dude, I wanted it done by Memorial Day. Like, well, we were way off. So I do think sometimes in writing, not for legal purposes, just for communication, is not a bad thing at all.
And I guess you say that having customers that seems like it goes well. I mean, especially our new homes. I feel. I mean, any project at all, but a new home. People are trusting you with probably the biggest purchase they'll ever make in their life. And I just try to make it as easy for them as we can. Like picking out products, we kind of let them go through.
What am I doing here? Oh, 5-minute warning. No, it's actually my phone going off, but sorry. Also the 5-minute warning.
Like selecting products, we don't make them choose everything right at one time. It's kind of like, hey, we need to order windows, doors, trusses right away, so make selections that way, but not try to bury them and get them all stressed out.
Well, I think that, and I'm back to the VDC, the virtual design selling, the consultation, that's the one thing nice about that. You aren't waiting for them to make a selection and being like, hey, you picked out your exteriors, now you pick out your interiors, don't forget to go in and pick this. It's done. You're just kind of rolling it out to them, like, any changes on this? And you'll find they're psychologically, they're kind of, I always said it this way, my wife stresses out, hi Pam, stresses out immediately, she doesn't listen, stresses out immediately about the dinner, right? Like a lot of people do it, the menu, not just her. But the second you place the order and it goes to the kitchen, I never hear people dicker about what they ordered. Right? 20 minutes they're going back and forth. Salmon or linguine, this or this, that or here, right? Maybe the special's good. Wow, that looks good too. But the second you order, it's over. So a little bit with virtual design and also offsite construction, we're really finding out the homeowner is like, it's done. And it gives them that calmness. And then Drexel and Smith builders can really get to work on the scheduling and sequencing. So much easier. Sorry, wow, this really is a sales presentation. I am so sorry, Todd. It does not usually go this way, I promise. Marcus, what else you got?
That's about it. I was just going to ask about...
I could tell you were hanging on one question yet.
Yeah, we kind of talked before off air. You said, I think when you first took over, we had maybe 4 full-time employees, now you're 14?
Yeah, we had 4 guys, or at least in the field. We had just 4 of us in the field back then, and then we're up to 10 full-time guys in the field now.
Yeah. How has that change been for you in terms of obviously more people and more jobs going on, but in terms of, has there been any different terms of leadership style from you in terms of having a bigger crew, or is it just kind of the same honest, trustworthy kind of stuff to keep people
just
around?
Mostly honest, trustworthy. You got to treat your employees good to keep them. I mean, there's not enough guys around anymore. We've been fortunate to find some really good employees. Actually, I have a couple kids that graduated high school last year. Trying to get a couple young kids in the trades with us too. So that's working out good. We've been doing as well school to work the last couple of years. So
that's wonderful. Good for you. Good for you.
Trying to get kids involved that way. So usually we've been taking one kid a year. And they'll either do like a morning or afternoon. They'll work with us and go to school the rest of the day.
Nice.
But,
so a lot of companies your size have actually went away from employees or people in the field and subbed it all out. Why? What do you think your advantage is, or why have you brought more people in? As a lot of remodeling companies are literally, what I call briefcase builders or building consultants, and they hire that all out.
I think it's so much easier to have our own employees because especially on remodeling, because you have something where you have drywaller calls, hey, we need some backer in this corner,
Okay.
or we need something cut out for us. I can grab a couple of my own guys and get them over there right away. Whoever's close by, I can see where they're at, and if you're relying on your subs all the time for that, they might be up in Appleton working and not in Fond du Lac, and you're not going to, maybe the drywaller's going to leave because it's not going to get done then. So it's
So you like the control and the
Yeah.
and the
convenience, I would say.
convenience. Ready.
Yep.
Yeah, jump to the fire where it's needed.
Yeah.
All right,
That,
that's great.
that helps a lot, I think. And we do sub out. I mean, we do probably 80% of our own framing. We sub out a little bit of framing. We sub out about half our siding. We do all our own finish work, but try to keep as much as we can in-house at least.
That's a lot. That
Yeah.
is more than, I would say, 90% of the builders that we work with doing that much still in-house. So that's pretty cool. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. It's unique
Well-
to you guys. Very good. It's very cool. Last question. We're already at that point. That goes so fast, even when I'm selling myself. Horrible. You have a big, giant billboard, obviously in Fond du Lac. Just kidding. It could be anywhere in the world. Huge, big, giant billboard. Tons of people see it. What's on it and why?
I actually thought about this. I knew this question was coming, but I honestly think I guess the way I've always tried to live, I guess, treat people how you want to be treated, I think is a huge thing, and that's where I view it like how when I do work for people. I mean, I'm doing their kitchen remodel. I want this kitchen remodel to turn out like I'd want it in my house. So, and that's where I guess it's the way our society has become too with our cell phones and everything. Everything's instant gratification now, and people just treat people like you want to be treated and show some patience sometimes and that type of thing.
I love it. Didn't I say that they're one of the more organized, simpler builders, right? What a simple, great message, though, for your final message. Less is more. That is such a great, simple message. I love it. Thanks for coming on, buddy. Appreciate
you.
man.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. We've had some beer. We've had some beers together. We've had some fun. So he's a great, great guy. You need anything in the Fond du Lac area, reach out to Smith Builders. Peace and love, guys.